Rabbi Yitzchok, welcome back to Yerushalmi Demai. We are holding at Lamed Gimel on the base. Now we said in the Mishnah, if you don't find the seller and someone else tells you, someone's not normally trusted on Maestros, but don't worry, these fruits have had Maestro taken, you can rely on the other person. So when is it that you can eat on Shabbos the fruit that you bought from an Amaretz? So so can you eat based on your friend asking the seller the question about whether Meiser has been taken? So hey Chavida, what's the case? You bought the produce from the Amaretz, Shnei b'nei Adam Kavos, two people bought at the same time. Now one of them asked the Amaretz on Shabbos if the fruit that he bought are Musarim, and he said yes. Now can the second person who bought rely on that answer to assume that his fruit that he bought is also Musarim, and therefore he can eat it without correcting it? Hasheni, the Gemara answers, no, he has to take Maisa himself. He can't rely on the first one. But until he actually asks the seller if the fruit is tithed. Because I say maybe the fruit shall zeh issa. Maybe this fruit of the first person, the seller was the one did take Maisa, but shall zeh lo issa, maybe never took from the second one. But even lokach mimenu adam echad. Let's say one person took from the Amaretz shtei kalkoles ka'achas, two baskets in one go. You only asked about one of them. You can't eat from the second one till you take Masechet. Until you ask him, are the second basket also Masechet? Because on the he says, maybe this one he did take and this one he didn't. Now, when it gets dark, after Shabbos finishes, now you can't eat the fruit. Even though you asked him before on Shabbos. Now you have to take Masechet yourself. Ma'aseh zeh al zeh. You can be ma'aseh from one fruit, one basket, on the second basket that you didn't ask him about, or the other way around. Okay? Since when Shabbos goes out, they both got a din of Demai, and they need meisering. You're allowed to be ma'aseh from Peros Demai of one basket for another Peros Demai of the second basket. Okay? Now, Ma'andorma, the one who said that the reason why our Mishnah says we rely on the Eidos of the Amaretz to say Maisa has been taken, because for the sake of Shabbos, I understand you're allowed to be mastering one basket for the second one. On Shabbos itself, we didn't rely on his words that the Peros were really Maised. Well, the Ma'andorma, and according to the one who said Shabbos Olav, the reason is he'll tell the truth, and that Shabbos is there he'll say all the truth. How can you now then go and take Maisa from fruit of one basket for the other one? On one basket, we've got his Eidos, we said he's telling the truth, he's taken Maisa from it. And the second basket is only Demai. You can't take Maisa of Peros which have had tithes taken for Demai, and you can't take the other way around. So the Gemara does not answer the question. Now it's all very well we know we're allowed to eat, to rely on Shabbos on the Eidos of the Amaretz, but if you haven't got Maisa fruit of that species, but I feel what happens if you've got Maisa fruit of that species? Are you still allowed to eat, to rely on his Eidos? So the Gemara answers, Hayetza Tov. You know how much you like your fruit, right? It's an Eilig Shabbos. So we allow you to rely on the Eidos Namaretz even in the situation that you have other fruit, which is Ma'usa, from that species. You want to have this as well. Okay. Some say the only heter to rely on the Namaretz to eat this fruit on Shabbos, if you, the buyer, has no other food, you'll have to sit fasting. If you don't eat it, you'll end up fasting. Then you're allowed to rely on him. Okay, that's how some Rishonim understand. Alright. Yom Tov Shusach LeShabbos. For now, Yom Tov, like this week, Rabbi Isai. Yom Tov, which is next to Shabbos, whether on the Friday or on the Sunday. And Yom Tov 2 days of Yom Tov. If you say the 2 days are considered one long day, which is more like we say on Rosh Hashanah, we treat them as like Kedusha Achas. Then Eichel, you can have the fruit on the second day, relying on the Eidos of what the Amaretz said on the first day. But Mandava Shtei Kedusha said, if you say they're 2 separate days, Eina Eichel, you can't rely on the second day on the Eidos of the first day. Basically, the day finishes, according to this, they're 2 second days. Now, Rabbi say we've got a problem here. Because, so what we say, if there's 2 days, and you're asking for 1 day, it doesn't help you for the next day. That's what we say. Now, if there's 2 days Yom Tov, there's a problem. Because why isn't Amoritz believed until Motzi Shabbos? Because Motzi Shabbos you do something about it, right? You can take the tithes then, right? Or there's no covered Shabbos left, okay, at that time. But when it comes to Motzi Shabbos, you can take Meiser. But if there's 2 days Yom Tov, we have to keep the second day like the first day. We can't take Meiser in between, right? We can't do anything about it. So we should rely on his Nemonos for both days. Because it's not as if we've got an option at the end of the day to start taking Meiser, right? You find with Beitza Shenaldo, if it's also on the first day, it's permitted on the second day because they're two separate. Either only 1 day is Yom Tov. But the fact is, we can't take Meiser here in this situation until the second day finishes. So why can't we rely on his Eidos for the whole second day? So that's the question they all discuss. It could be we understood. Usually we don't rely on his Eidos after Shabbos. So they said, right, that's it. Lo. Even in a situation where the reason's fallen away, you can't rely on him after Shabbos. Full stop. That seems to be the understanding. That even though it's 2 days Yom Tov, and there's no reason you can't do anything Motzi Shabbos. But his Nemonos finishes when it gets dark. When Shabbos finishes, that's when the Nemonos finishes. Okay? That's how you have to say it. Okay, that's Moshe Weinstein. Okay, so where are we now? So you can't rely to eat on the second day. So he says, you should be able to eat on the second day based on the Eidos of the first. So the Gemara is pushing this away now and saying, well, yeah, this is more or less the Svara. You didn't have the opportunity. When the first day finished, second day started, you didn't have a chance to take Meiser. But Tali came, we learned in a price, so that if you buy fruits of Demai, when Yom Tov is next to Shabbos, Shola, you can ask it by Yom Tov on the Friday, and rely on that also by Shabbos, the following Shabbos, and also you can ask him on Shabbos, and you can rely on this Eidos also by Yom Tov, on Yom Tov, which begins on the Sunday as well. So you can carry on eating on the Yom Tov as well. Yeah, so he allows you to eat on the next day. Rav Yoel Shem Zira, Tifto, now the Gemara is now going to say another din where you can rely on the Eidos Lamoris which was said on Shabbos. Tifto, talking about prepares Shanisma Chadat Te'aleh Me'ev Shabbos. When you bought it, you were relying on them you prepared to eat them on Shabbos, but you forgot to take Meiser before Shabbos. If you didn't really have mind to eat them on Shabbos, then this din was not said. And even on Shabbos, you can't rely on the Eidos of the Amaretz. So it's only on fruit where you had the intention you were going to eat it on Shabbos. Okay? Okay. He says here, that's fine. You are allowed to rely on an Amaretz even if you have other fruits, as we said. But maybe there's even a better thing to eat from the fruit from the Amaretz. But if you're not relying on them, you didn't think you're going to have them on Shabbos, then you had other food, and that will be enough for you. So Zira said, don't be lenient in such a case. Some say Zira is arguing on the Gemara that the heter to rely on the Amaretz is even if you have other fruits from that min. Alright. The following, the Rabbanan support Rav Yoda Abba, the Yoda, my father, the Tanina Tamad. We've learnt later on, Hamadis Chaver Sheikh Letzlai. You want to encourage someone to eat with you, right? And basically you say, look, you must eat with me, otherwise I'm going to cause all sorts of trouble. And the Vaiti, is the person you want him to come to you. Let's say, Reuben wants Shimon to come round. And unfortunately, we can't trust Reuben with Maestros. And Shimon knows, Reuben wants me to come round, we can't trust Reuben with Maestros. So Shimon is a Chaver, and Reuben is an Amaret. Well, he's allowed to go the first week to eat the fruit, relying on the words of the Amaret that the fruit has had Meiser taken. Rav Yana Bishma B'Shem Rav Yochanan, he says, when the Mishnah allows you to rely on the Eidos the first week, it was B'Shabbos Shel Fruit Gamia. What is a fruit gam? Any ideas? Fruit Gamia is the first week of the wedding. It's the Shabbos Shevet Brachos. That's what it is. Right? Fruit Gamia. So fruit Gamia, fruit means first, probably in Greek, I suppose, and Gamu means joy. So it's the first joy. Okay? I think one through other gears is pragmatia, but not here. It's fruit gamia. So there's your fruit. If anyone asks you what's a fruit gam, you say it's the first week of Shabbat Brachos. Okay? That's what fruit gam is. So what we got here? B'Shabbos Shel Fruit Gamia. So they especially allow you to eat with this Amaretz because the first week it won't be very good if the two B'chutans don't talk, right? They allow you to rely on the Eidos Amaretz because we don't want to create hatred if you don't join up in this meal. Now, you're allowed to rely on the Eidos Amaretz the first week. And Rabbi Yechon said it's only because of Eva, because there'll be enmity if you don't rely on him. And Mishnah said you can rely on him the whole Shabbos, even if it's not the first week. There's no worry about Eva. There's a difference. The Shabbos Shel Fruit Gamia, the week of the Shabbos Shel Brachos, Loi B'Peres Shenitzvach Dat Elei Erev Shabbos. He is talking about where you knew you were going to have it on Shabbos, you were going to eat it on Shabbos, you knew that's where you're going. And therefore, Loi Amar, the Tanna never said you can rely on the Amaretz Ela B'nei Eva. You knew you were going there, and because of hatred you're going to go. That's Shaykh the first week. But we don't want to create hatred. But our Mishnah is talking about stuff you bought, and the one who bought it is relying them on Shabbos. 1 second. And therefore, the way Rav Yoda brought the name of Zira, it allows you to rely on the Eidos Amaretz even if there's no Chashash Eva. So what's the difference again? Let's see this again. So Shabbos Pragmatia, let me say it again. Loi B'Peres Shenisma, yeah. It's not talking about a case where you thought you were going to eat those fruit, right? You didn't know. You don't know what's being served, right? You didn't know what you were going to eat. So therefore, Loi Amar, the Tanna never said you could line the Amaretz except because of hatred you have to. But that's what we were the first week. We're talking about when you buy stuff and you're relying on it for Shabbos, the way Rav Yoda brings down, so you can rely on that Eidos even if there's no Chashash of enmity. Okay? Right. Now we've learned in a Brisa, Shalai Shabbos Rishona, if you ask the Amaretz the first week after you bought it, and he told you yes, everything's timed. Shabbos Shnia, then when it comes to second week, Lo Yachal Adri Asa, don't start eating until you take Maisa. If you remember the middle of the week, I've got fruit that needs Maisering. If you forgot the middle of the week, Adri Shalenu, you should ask him the second week, has the fruit been Maisered? So he says, like Varshala, but you already asked him the first week. What purpose is there you can ask him again the second week? If he lied the previous time, he's not going to now admit it now, actually nothing's been Maisered. The first week, you ask yourself. But the second week, you're going to send someone else who will ask for you. It could be the Amaretz would agree and say the truth, that really he didn't take Meiser, right? And he won't worry that it will come out that he's actually been lying. So the second week, you'll get someone else. You'll send your intelligence service, right? To try and find out what's going on. Right? Now, Rav Yonah boy, Marshi Shalenu, can you ask the Amaretz? Can you ask him? How do we ask him? Is he derech hakalason? Is it in an unusual manner, like a twisted manner? So it's not a question actually. We ask him in an unusual manner. We don't want him to suspect that we are not sure if he's telling the truth or not. And that way he'll admit to the truth. So he brings the story of Yonah. Rav Yonah Gedate, Rav Yonah according to his reason, Rav Yonah Zavin Chite Midvar Hakula. He bought wheat from Ben Kafar and he forgot to buy. So then Rav Yonah went towards that Ben Kafar, the person, the villager, and he said to him, not that I suspect you. At the beginning of Manas Minach Hitin, I bought from you wheat, I saw people came to you, a lot of people came to buy. Maybe because of your bother, you were so busy, you forgot to take Maisa. So I'm asking you, has the Maisa been taken or not? Okay. Rav Yonah said a lot of words, so the seller, he'll be muhsik in his eyes. He'll be believed to be trustworthy. So he's like, you're building him up. In the end, the seller said, why should I make myself suspect? Because you don't suspect me. So he's admitted that actually the fruit has not had Maisa taken. Okay. Trumas Maisa Shel Demai. Now, Trumas Maisa has been taken out of Demai and it fell back into its place. So Rishon Shazuri says, even B'chol, you can ask, is the Peres Musarin, and you can eat something, you can rely on that and you can eat. Tali, we learned in the Brisa. Trumas Maisa Shel Demai. So it fell back into the fruit where it had been separated from. Medamas, it forbids the mixture to Zorin. But Shalolim Chaim, if it fell into other Cholim, it doesn't forbid that mixture to Zorin. Divra Rablezer. So Rablezer says it depends. If it falls in the same mixture, it causes dimua, it causes forbidding the mixture. If it falls elsewhere, it doesn't. When it said Beilim Koma, Ben Shalolim Koma, whether it fell to its place or not, Medamaas, it will create new Isurim. But Shimon over says Beilim Koma, Ben Shalolim Koma, Einon Mas. He says no, Trumas Masel Demai does not forbid other mixtures according to Shimon. The one who says it forbids other mixtures, Medamas, it does that according to those who say Trumas Masel Demai is Medamas, it forbids mixtures. So whether it falls in its place or it falls elsewhere, and according to Shimon She'ena Damas, the one who says it doesn't forbid mixtures, Eino Damas, it doesn't. Basically, it doesn't create forbidden mixtures. So whether it fell in its own place or it fell elsewhere. Nicha, I understand. Because these both opinions, they always say either it always works or never works. According to Chachamim, it's got a din of Vadai, it always forbids mixtures. And according to Shimon, it's not Vadai, and it doesn't forbid mixtures. But Manda Amar, according to Rebbe Lezer, who said that Trumas Maseh, when it falls, Limkoima Medamas, when it falls in its original place, it forbids the mixture. Shalom Limkoima, Ena Medamas, when it's not in its place, it doesn't forbid the mixture. What's the difference where it falls? You're saying when it falls in this place, it forbids the mixture. If it falls in that place, it doesn't. What difference is that? So meanwhile, Rav Chagai went to best. Medrash Amrin, the Bnei Yeshiva said, but Kedenu Meima. Now, Rav Chagai is going to say now, I make an oath, Moshe, I'm going to say the reason for the difference between Rebbe Lezer, Trumas Maseh Demai, whether it falls into its place or it falls elsewhere. And Amar Rav Chagai said, I make a sure like Moshe, I'm going to say the reason, this is the reason, my damas, that which it says Trumas Maseh Demai, which falls in its place, it forbids the mixture, Shehima Teresus Shirayim. It allows you the other fruit in the mixture, La Achila, to eat them. So that's why we say Trumas Maseh Demai goes back as Madamea, forbids the mixture, because it's Materes Shirayim, because it allows you to eat the remainder, the rest of the fruit in the mixture to eat. So what does he say over here? Rav Lezer holds, like Rav Shimon, Trumas Maseh Vadai, Trumas of Vadai, if it's proper Trumas Maseh, of course it forbids the mixture. So he says when Trumas Maseh Demai falls into other chulin, it's Bata Barov. But Rav Lezer holds, when it falls back into the chulin, where it came from, we only have to treat it as proper taruvas, a mixture which is forbidden, because if we allow the taruvas, it will look strange. Before the hafrosha, the fruit was forbidden, so now, when they come back and mix together, it'll be like it was before hafrosha, now suddenly everything's permitted. How can that be, right? Therefore we treat it as if Trumas Maseh were not separated from the fruit. They're also like it was in the beginning before the hafrosha took place. So that's what he's saying. So my dama damas shimatesu shuran machila, it allows the rest of the mixture. My dama, and that which he says if it falls into other chulin eina b'damas, it doesn't forbid the chulin. She'eina nimateres eseshuraim, it doesn't allow what is left la'achila for eating because it's separated from other fruit. Let's see this again. We say eina b'damas she'eina materes eseshuraim. Now it doesn't really allow you to eat the rest. Okay, because it was separated elsewhere. It says in the notes, Trumas Maseh allows the fruit was mixed in. Maybe you don't have to keep all the chumras with Trumas Maseh Minatera. We make a chiluk between this mixture and other Trumas Maseh going back. Okay. Rabla Paskan Rav Lezer, Kahadaj Rav Chagai. It makes sense the reasoning of Rav Chagai. Rozira, also came with Rav Chanina. A story came before of Trumas Maseh Demai, which went back into its place in front of Rav Chanina. He paskin because Shimon Shazuri that even in the weekday you can rely on the Eidos Tamaris, the Peres HaMaisid. Ravacha, he said Shimon said the halach of Shimon Shazuri. No, the halach is not like it. Yosem Ikam. Now the Gemara brings a brisa which tells you another case where Shimon says you can rely on the Eidos Tamaris. Yosem Ikam over Shimon Shazuri Omer. He said he went further and he said, here fish, if you separate Demai, right, which is in elsewhere, and you separate from a Demai mixture, Trumas Maseh for the fruit that you have, for the Demai you have. V'nisrafa, and then the fruit got burnt. Harezeh Sholai, you're allowed to ask the Amaretz who sold you the fruit, was their Maseh taken or not? But Eichel Al-Piv, and rely on that and you eat the rest of the fruit. Laibada Rozira, not in this case, in Rozira, say also to come Rav Chanina. The story came before Rav Chanina, but Hayrek Rav Shimon Shizuri. And he paskin like Rav Shimon Shizuri. So Rav Chanina, he says, he agreed paskin Rav Shimon Shizuri only as far as the din in our Mishnah, in his name, that Truas Maser Demai, which falls back, you can rely on the Eidos Amaretz. He doesn't agree with his words that you can rely on the Eidos even if the fruit was separated, Truas Maser got burnt. Well, we don't know if it was in existence in the time of Hafrasha. We don't know if it was there. Because in this din, that would be a bigger chidush. Okay. Rav Avin said. Now, what would we say? We said in our Mishnah, Rav Shimon Shizuri agrees, Amoritz has believed his Truas Maser has gone back to his place. So Rav Avin explains a bit. Rav Avin, the question in this case is not the same as the question in the first case, which the Mishnah talked about. The Amoritz was asked on Shabbos about the fruits that you bought of him. Tamam, there, you ask it in an unusual manner. Lo begin chashilach, not that I suspect you, right, that you're going to sell intentionally stuff. So no. And it begins as vanes minach esval chitin. It's because I bought from you yesterday wheat, and I saw many people coming to buy, but I'm still maybe because you'll be so busy, all the people, you'll take mice, you won't get around to it. So I'm asking you, in the second heaven, are they fruit? Has it mice or not? But here, when the person has sort of not got around to separating Truas Maser from the fruit, and there's Chashad Amoritz sold you the fruit and not be Maised, so you have to say, begin the Chashad Tach v'Takintin, because I was suspect, or I didn't know that I sold you fruit maybe which is not Maised. I went and wanted to take Maser from the fruit, it was Truas Maser. Be'isquin, and then it happened that the Truas Maser has come back. So I need to know, Masakin Havan, it's gone back to the Trumas Maser has gone back into his din. So the question is the fruit, which was already Maser when I bought it off you. And when I bought it, maybe my Hafrosha makes no sense. And the fruit of Trumas Maser, which you separated, maybe that didn't forbid the mixture, or maybe I was right, I was suspicious, maybe the Trumas Maser did take place, so the Paris would forbid a mixture. Let's see this again. Go back a bit, yeah? Baram Hacha, you got it? But here, when the person, you buy it, you've separated Trumas Maser, you're not sure what the Amoritz did. Maybe he sold me fruit which should not have taken Maser. So begin the Chashad Takintin. I was worried. You sold me fruit, not Maser. I went and took Maser. And therefore it happened, and the Trumas Maser has maybe gone back into his place. So I need to know. The Takin Havin, was it Mu'usad already when I bought it? The paper Trumas Maser, maybe it didn't fit the mixture. Maybe I was right. Maybe I was worried. Maybe you didn't take Maser. Maybe my choice Maser worked, and therefore the fruit did forbid the mixture. Huh? Well, Yerushalmi would say go and ask him, wouldn't it? When they ask here, why don't we ask you in an unusual way? Not to get him too angry.
Let's tell him the truth.
Here we can ask the reason in a twisted way. Alright. He said, he learnt in this brisa that even in the middle of the week, you're allowed to ask the seller and eat based on his answer. Even during the week. Because Amos said, because we believe the Amoritz, you have to tell him the Cohen has already mafresh Trumas Maser, okay. Basically, you can say beforish that he's taken Maser over here. That's what it's saying. Well, he will tell you the truth. Yeah. Okay. Right. Halacha base. Amades Chaver Shiach Alesna. So you want to? Reuben encourages Shimon to eat with him. Shimon doesn't trust Reuben now. First week he can eat. Even though the one who's pushing is not trustworthy. He has to tell him that the fruit is musarin in Maisid. Or the Shabbos Shneah comes to the second week. Look, I forbid all benefit. If you don't come, the deal is he can't come round until he takes Maisid. Rabbi Yada Mishmav Sheva Yochanan, Shabbos Shel Prut Mugamia. Again, it's the Shabbos Sheva brachos, right? Yitzira, they allow it to rely on the Eidos Amoritz, Mipnei, Eva, because otherwise it will create anger. Ravavin said, Kan, in our Mishnah is Hitziru Tzevalim, Mishum Daki Sholim. They allow you to eat Tevel Drabanon, which is Demai, for the sake of peace. He's not arguing on Rabbi Yochanan, he's stressing the Chiddush of the Mishnah. Then he learned the dinner of Rabbi Yochanan, about Nisun Rishonim. Okay. Some say Ravavin is Chaydik on Rabbi Yochanan. Okay. So what's he saying now? Kan Hitziru Tzevalim, Mishum Daki Sholim. Rav Chanina, he said, Rav Yonah, even if they Daki Sholim, if that's the reason, we're not really relying on his Eidos, why does the Mishnah carry on? It's only permitted when he's made that the fruit is Musa, right? Why must he say that? So one doesn't actually answer the question. The Mishnah's Mekel is not an Nemonos, which is given to Nam Haaretz. It's a razon to create peace, right? A similar question to what we had on Daf Lamed Gimel. What there says, although there's no nemonos to the eidos of the Amoretz, it's needed to allow you to eat achilas demai. Okay, fine. Now, we said the first week you're allowed the chaver to go and eat with simcha with the Shem brachos, but not the second week. Shalai Shabbos Rishonah, if you ask the Amoretz about your food the first week of the marriage, but then the one who was meant to come to be the guest never came. Now, what about Shneil? What about the second week? Rishona. Now, can that be the first week now? Because you never got that last week. Very good question. There is no answer. Rav Chisda said, we've learned here, don't start eating at a meal which doesn't have importance. It's not Suda's mitzvah. The Mishnah is talking about Suda's Nisuin, which is Suda's mitzvah. Okay, that's what we're talking about. So don't go to a big meal which is not Suda's mitzvah. My Pesachim as well. Fine. Halacha Gimel, yeah. There's no chiyuv to be mafresh Maaseh Ani from Demai produce. And definitely you don't have to liquidate shame, right, to fix a place by saying, Maaseh Sheni should be in the north or whatever it is. Chachamim said you can give a name to Maaseh Sheni Demai to remove any chashash tevel from the fruit. Maaseh Ani, so Maaseh Ani of Demai. You can give it a name, and that will remove any chashash tevel. You don't have to separate fruit of this ma'aser from other peiros, because they're still yours, and you're allowed to use them. And what about, are you allowed to give on Shabbos your maestros? Are you allowed to give your maestros away to someone who's meant to get it? So someone who before Shabbos he called out Shemos Maaseh, this is his Demai, Maaseh Ani Shel Vadai, or Maaseh Ani from not of definite tevel. Lo yidleim, don't take them to give. Don't give to the Cohen or to an Ani on Shabbos, right? Now, if you always had a Shabbat Cohen or a poor man always eating with you on Shabbos, they can come and eat their matanas. But you must tell them that you're giving them maestros. You hear that? So the people who always eat these things, you must tell them that you're giving them maestros to eat. You eat fruit, which as far as Maaseh Ani is concerned is tevel, right? So now, when you are mafresh all the maestros apart from Maaseh Ani, Chayav Misa is Chayav Misa b'dei Shamayim. Okay, he's saying Chayav Misa b'dei Shamayim. Okay, if you eat any of this fruit. What's the reason for Rebbe? You don't need to call a name to Maaseh Ani of mine. The Kievich who you're there, since you know that Machal Tevel, which is Tevel to Maaseh Ani, Bavai Misa is death in the hands of heaven. Mafresh, you'll surely separate Maaseh Ani from the fruit before you sell it. So the one who buys it doesn't have to be mafresh. What's the reason Chachamim, they say Maaseh Ani of Demai, yes, you need to be mafresh. Because, even if you wouldn't rely on the Amaretz, these being mafresh, it would be enough that the buyer should be Kohen Shem Ve'ein Tzorech Lahafrish. He just give a name to Maser Ani. He doesn't have to separate it and give it to the poor. He doesn't have to give it away. As long as you call it what it is, that's fine. You don't have to actually give it away. Therefore, even if we say that he's separating Maser Ani, let's say he is separating it, it's not Chumrah if we obligate him to treat it as Demai, as it were, to make a Hafrosha again. It's not such a big monetary loss in such a case. So the one who buys it will say, separate Maser again. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Okay, fine. Oh, right. Tony, we learned in a brisa. Now this is machlokes between the Chacham and Rebbe Lezer, as far as ne'emonos of the Am Haaretz on his maestros. Okay, Tony, we learned. Ro I say mafresh sheni. You see the Am Haaretz separating Maser Sheni. Now we don't know, did he separate Maser Rishon? Ha-ne'eman Sheni, if we trust him for Maser Sheni, ne'eman Rishon, you assume he did Maser Rishon. Divrei Rebbe Lezer. And the Chachamim said, ne'eman Rishon, ne'eman Sheni. If you believe in the first one, believe in the second. Ne'eman Sheni, just because you believe on the second one, ain't a ne'eman Rishon. You're not necessarily believed for the first one. So the Chachamim argue with Rebbe Lezer. They hold, we saw you do Maser Sheni, it doesn't mean you separated Maser Rishon. They agree, if we know you separated Maser Rishon, you probably said you separated Maser Sheni as well. Right? It's more common that they'll separate Maser Sheni than Maser Rishon. Maser Sheni, remember, stays theirs. They don't have to give it away. It stays theirs. Maser Rishon, you have to be Mafresh Trumas. Maser, give it to the Cohen. So they hold, if we see an Am Haaretz separating Maser Rishon, where he has to give it to the Cohen, definitely he separates Maser Sheni, where he retains ownership. But if you see he's separating Maser Sheni, you can't learn that he separated Maser Rishon. Because Maser Rishon, there is a monetary loss, and it could be he'll refrain and he won't separate it. Okay? So that's why. So if you see him doing Maser Rishon, he would have done Sheni. You see him doing Sheni, doesn't necessarily mean he did Rishon. Ma'atama de Rebbe Lezer. What's the reason for Rebbe Lezer? Right, let's see. Rebbe Lezer was the one who said that Ne'eman Sheni is believed for the first one as well. What's the reason for Rebbe Lezer? Because Mishum she'elu choshen lahaktim. It's because an Am Haaretz is not going to separate Maser Sheni before Maser Rishon. We don't expect that to happen. Or maybe Mishum she'hivrish Sheni, once you separated Maser Sheni, Chazaka she'hivrish Rishon, you must have separated Maser Rishon. Right? When people decide to take Maser, they'll just take for all of them. Basically, they'll do for everything. So the Gemara learns in our Mishnah the reason of Psak of the Brayse. V'altanina, we learned in the Brayse. He said, "Ein adam tzarich lo afilu liquid shame b'masa ani shel demai." You don't masa shel ani shel demai. Masa ani is fine where it is. But basically, we're saying that the Am Haaretz separated masa ani from the fruit. We assume he did. Okay. Demai is part of a Masa Ani, but Sheni, Masa Sheni you will have to separate, even according to Rebbe Lezer. Although, we know he says you separated Masa Ani from the fruits, and we don't know for sure did you separate Masa Sheni or not. Rebbe Lezer, sometimes Masa Am Haaretz will separate a type of Masa, like Masa Ani, and he won't bring Masa Sheni. Right? Okay. It's not that he's machalik between Chiyuv and Maestro. So this is again. So he says, "Ein adam tzarich liquid sheni masa ani shel demai sheni tzarich." But you do have to. So you do have to give the name to Masa Sheni of Demai, right? You don't have to say Masa Ani of Shel Demai, but you have to call out Masa Sheni of Demai. Okay. Ma'im. Now the Gemara is actually going to explain. According to Rebbe Lezer, it could be the Am Haaretz are mafresh only Masa Ani. They don't mafresh Masa Sheni. But if they are doing Masa Ani, one second. It could be they'll separate Masa Ani and not Masa Sheni, right? If they do Masa Sheni, they won't necessarily be Mafresh Masa Rishon. Let's see. Ma'im Sheni. Now with Masa Sheni, She'ein le'rabbi tevas hanaya. Now this rabbi here could mean HaKadosh Baruch Hu, actually. There's no mitzvah to take it out of your domain to give to anyone else. You can hold on to it. And we're worried that the Amoritz won't take Meiser on it. And the one who buys it, you have to take Maser if you're buying it. Then Maser Rishon sheyesh l'rabbi tevas hanaya, he gets more out of Maser Rishon. He has to give it, a bit of it away. Yeah? Maser Rishon sheyesh l'rabbi means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gets more, because this person has to give it away. Like Hoshkin, how much more so we should worry that he didn't separate this Maisa. We should definitely worry. If we're anything he keeps, we're worried he didn't do it. Something he has to give away, of course we should be worried. And we should be chayiv the Cohen, the one who buys it, to be mafresh. And we should be worried that Amoritz didn't separate any hafrasha from the fruit of Maser Rishon, even if he did separate Maser Sheni. There must be the reason of Belezer that if your Maser Sheni is Becheskas, that you probably also were mafresh Maser Rishon. And that's like the first reason that Amoritz, who's mafresh, he doesn't really change the order of hafrasha. He probably did do Maser Rishon first before he separated Maser Sheni. Okay, I think we'll stop here, everybody.